municipalities. So let's start, if you like, as we are a small group. Please, when you like, use your micro and share with us your feelings or your ideas, your suggestions, your point of views. So Raquel.
Yeah, let me just remind you of the name of the project where we collaborate, which is strengthening the value of the Mozarabic way from Andalusia to Santiago as an element of valorization of the territory. As Antonio said, we work with other local development groups in this project, and we're very happy to contribute to disseminating all the possibilities of this Mozarabic way to Santiago from, as mentioned, a crossroad between the two Mozarabic paths in Andalusia. Yes, do feel free to express yourselves in the language you feel more comfortable about. We can subtitle afterwards. We can help you translate when needed. But you know, English, the international English is not real English. So do not worry about making mistakes. Our native friends will forgive us, I'm sure. So let's feel free to express ourselves. And we'd like to start by listening to, yes, Mercedes Murillo, who is the president of the Association of Amigos del Camino de Almería, and also Begoña Bravo and Rocío Marín, who are representatives of the Association of the Friends of the Camino in Malaga. And we want to listen to the story of your associations. We want to know from you if associations you think are really the soul of the Camino, as many of us think, and what's your role in implementing the Mozarabic way to Santiago? So no matter the order, just take the mic and switch on the mic, and we're ready to listen to you.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm sorry, but my English is very, very bad. I explain to the Camino from Almería in Spanish and English. I think that is correct, Raquel. The association are the soul of the Camino. Along with the hospitaleros and the hospitality hostels, without them, the Camino is just touring along an ancient route. We lose the sense of service and dedication to the pilgrims who we must not forget is the person who pilgrims to Santiago de Compostela meets the apostle. I don't know apostle in English.
I think it's perfectly understandable.
The pilgrims in the way discovered the wonderful place and wonderful people, because the Camino is also a spiritual connection in addition to effort and daily improvement. Our association was born this motto at the service of the pilgrims and the Camino de Santiago. We are a young association because we were born in 2014, but in 2019 we obtained Elias Baliña Prize as result the intense work of revitalization in the Mozarabe Camino.
Congratulations.
Thank you. In all the sense, no? Creations, hospitality hostels, creation network private, public private establishments, creation a mensual guide from Almería to Mérida, a good state, the Camino signs. Esto, no sé cómo decirlo. It means that every day pilgrims from all over the world are leaving Almería to the Camino.
Okay, a short time, as you said, Mercedes, pero en este poco tiempo habéis hecho algo increíble, que es, desde mi punto de vista, abrir muchos albergues y gestionarlos directamente, ¿no?
Now, in this moment, our association has 9 hospitality hostels with collaboration municipalities agree an association. The municipalities give us buildings not used, and the association buying the furniture, the repairs, all the necessary, but to create hospitality hostels.
Another interesting thing, in my opinion, one day talking with you, is the management of these albergues, once are ready to be open, is by, we could say, are free, no? The pilgrims could give some donations, but it's free. It's okay to manage an albergue in these conditions. It means are generous or not generous in general, the pilgrims.
Esto te lo voy a contestar en español. Me va a costar explicarlo en inglés.
Ok.
Es cierto, los albergues son de hospitalidad y son de donativo, pero hay muchos peregrinos, sobre todo los españoles, porque no tienen este pensamiento la mayoría de peregrinos extranjeros, pero sí lo tenemos los españoles, por desgracia, que pensamos que donativo es gratis. Y los albergues no son gratis, porque tienen unos gastos de mantenimiento, unos gastos de apertura, de luz, de agua, gastos corrientes que se necesitan el día a día. Pero es que además ya no solamente es por los gastos que tenga. A mí lo que me duele mucho y me apena es que estamos dispuestos a pagar 15 o 20 euros por dormir en un hostal o en una pensión donde la única contacto que tenemos con la persona de ese establecimiento quizá es la entrega de la llave de nuestra habitación, y no somos capaces de valorar la generosidad que hay detrás de un albergue de hospitalidad, donde todo está hecho desde el voluntariado, porque nosotros las obras de los albergues las hemos hecho desde voluntariado, las subvenciones que hemos recibido son de otras asociaciones, como American Pilgrims, también desde el voluntariado, y donde desde ese voluntariado se ha creado ese albergue, que además un hospitalero voluntario atiende, donde te ofrece una cena comunitaria, donde te está ofreciendo un desayuno comunitario, donde te ofrece una palabra de consuelo, una ayuda, y no somos capaces de valorar todo ese amor y toda esa generosidad que se te está entregando por el hecho de estar haciendo el Camino de Santiago. Entonces, ahí dejo esa reflexión. Queremos abogar porque la gente de corazón quiera devolver al camino lo que el camino te aporta, pero también tiene que nacer esa generosidad por parte del peregrino para que esos lugares que son el alma del camino se mantengan abiertos, y eso es gracias a la generosidad de los peregrinos. Y el día que se pierdan los donativos porque no lo dan, porque piensan que es gratis, pues los albergues se cerrarán y el camino perderá pues su alma.
Okay, very clear and very important. At the same time, let's introduce Rocio and Maria Begoña in the conversation because they are here representing the Malaga Association of Pilgrims, and we are going from the two corners of the coast, from Malaga and Almeria, and when we join the complete line, we have around 1,300 kilometers from Almeria, a little bit less from Malaga. So how many steps? How is the road from Malaga, starting by the sea and going to Baena? How many steps? How is your work in this sense in the Malaga province?
Well, good afternoon. My name is Rocío, and first of all, I'd like to say thank you to you for this invitation and for this opportunity to talk with all of you about our association and also about our Camino. And I'd like to add something from this first question, about the first question, when we were talking about the associations and if they were the real soul of the Camino. And I agree with from my point of view, our associations have been the starting point, and without these associations and without the members of these associations and the hard work, maybe today we wouldn't be talking about our Camino, and the Mozarabe wouldn't be a reality today, nowadays. And following with your question about how many steps, we have different stages from Malaga to Córdoba. We started 25 years ago, signposting the route from Malaga to Córdoba, and I have to talk about Pepe Cano and Paco García Fuentes, that maybe you know. I know that Mercedes know Pepe Cano, and they devote. You too? Oh.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, thanks to them that devote so much time, walk so many kilometers, and they work very hard to recover the Camino from Malaga to Córdoba. And nowadays we have this path absolutely marked. We have a small guide that you have improved through your developed groups and with the supported also from other administrations. And thanks to them, nowadays it's easy to go from Malaga to Córdoba, where we have now 12 shelters, 12 refugees. 9 of them are based on donations, but maybe because of the reasons that have been talked about Mercedes, maybe in the future it's going to change, I don't know. And 3 of them are private. And maybe my colleague Begoña, she can introduce you about all the steps, all the stages that we can walk from Malaga to Córdoba. Thank you.
Thank you, Rocío. Yes, please, Begoña.
The way from Malaga to Baena is about 152 kilometers, and you can do in 8 etapas. I don't know now.
Stages.
Stages. Okay. You can find shelters in all the small village that you are going to. Oh, I'm very nervous now.
Don't worry. If you like speaking Spanish, as you prefer.
Well.
Or Spanish English.
From Malaga to Baena, you can find a small village, and in this village you can find 2 shelters, private and public, both of them. And sometimes, for example, in Lucena, only you have a hotel. Okay. I don't know what more do you need to know about this.
No worries, no worries. We'll have more time for conversation, so we'll discover some news. If you like, in order to facilitate a little bit more the participation in an informal way, we can open the conversation. Introducing, would like to introduce. Marta is with us. She will share with us a short lecture in a few minutes, but also I would like to give the floor 1 minute to say something to Leah and Andy, because Leah is a past president, I think. It's not the current president, the past president of one important association in Canada, probably more than 3,000 members in the association, many thousands of credentials they gave in the last decade. It's so an important supporter from Canada to the good performance of this Camino Mozarabe. So, Leah, it's a pleasure. We are very happy to meet with you today. So let us know a little bit your experience and also something about the organization in Canada, when it started and how is the evolution, and your personal experience also in the Camino Mozarabe, please.
Me he olvidado decir de la Asociación de Canadá, que lo digo
Your
yo
micro.
porque
Okay.
ella no lo va a decir. Es
Do we
que
have?
son grandes colaboradores del Camino de Santiago, que a nuestra asociación,
I think
gracias
we
a
have
ellos, hemos podido abrir los
something
albergues.
happening in the background again. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay. Hola a todos. Me alegre mucho estar aquí con vosotros para charlar sobre el Camino Mozarabe. Y traigo saludos de mis compañeros de la compañía canadiense de peregrinos. Estoy aprendiendo a hablar español, entonces voy a responder en parte en inglés y en parte en español, en mi no bueno español. Voy a empezar en inglés. The Canadian Company of Pilgrims has been in existence for about 28 years now. Before the pandemic, as Antonio said, we had about 3,000 members. That number fell during the pandemic, and now it's going back up, and we're back to about 2,500 members. We have 19 chapters, we call them, or sections across Canada. And our mission is to share our love of the Camino and to inspire and enable others on their way. And we have a sister association in Quebec that supports Francophone pilgrims. Our members come from right across the country. 3/4 of them are over 60, like me. Muchos de nosotros estamos jubilados, por lo que podemos viajar a España para un viaje prolongado. Alrededor de 2/3 de nuestros miembros han realizado un camino o más. Ya encaminado. La mayoría se describe a sí mismo como viajero independiente o muy independiente. Y una cosa interesante que aprendimos es que más de la mitad de nuestros socios tuvieron que cancelar o acortar un camino en 2020. Por lo tanto, nuestros socios tienen un gran anhelo reprimido por volver al camino. Pero debido a las dificultades para viajar, es solo en los últimos meses que han comenzado a regresar al camino. Pues he vuelto al camino varias veces desde que hice mi primer camino con mi marido hace 9 años. Así fue el camino francés desde Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port hasta Santiago. Desde entonces hemos recorrido la Vía de la Plata, el Camino Sanabres, el Camino Portugués, el chemin de Puy, ambos ramales del Camino Mozarabe, el Camino a Muxía, el Camino Invierno y parte del Camino del Norte.
That's quite impressive, Leah. It is.
How many credentials?
Yeah.
How many credentials do you have?
Muchos. 5. No todos terminan en Santiago de Compostela.
Excellent.
Y ya estamos empezando a planificar nuestro regreso al camino.
Great.
Para nosotros, el camino, caminar es la manera perfecta de aprender más sobre otro país y sobre nosotros mismos al mismo tiempo. Y por supuesto, practicar nuestro español.
Okay.
La,
And what does
Asociación
make...
de Canadá, la Asociación de Canadá, gracias a ello, el camino mozárabe de Almería a Granada está abierto después de la pandemia. Porque no sé si sabéis que teníamos protocolos COVID muy estrictos, que eran protocolos a nivel nacional, pero que para los albergues de hospitalidad y los albergues de donativos era muy complicado de poder ponerlo en marcha. Y gracias a la Asociación de Canadá, por una generosa contribución económica que nos hicieron, pudimos comprar todo el material sanitario para abrir los 9 albergues de peregrinos que hay de Almería a Granada. O sea que ellos son parte del camino mozárabe, tanto como todos los demás.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much. And indeed, connected to that comment from Mercedes, we would like to know what makes the Mozarabic way to Santiago different or special according to you and to the members of your association, Lia.
Okay. I'll speak in English maybe this time. I would say both branches of the route are very well marked, and I know that that is because of the care and the attention of the associations. The walking can be difficult at times, especially along the riverbed out of Almeria, and the first 3 days out of Malaga when there's a lot of steep ups and downs, but both of the routes are spectacular and very different from anything that you find in the north. Even though it was sometimes remote and sometimes unpopulated, we always felt very safe on both of the routes. The first thing I want to say about the quality of the welcome is to recognize the Asociación Jacobea de Almería Granada. Their welcome to us and yours, Mercedes, 2 years ago was so enthusiastic, and we could tell right away when we met Mercedes and the other members of her association that they care very deeply about the Camino and about pilgrims. Their albergues are excellent, and we really felt very well supported along the route from Almeria to Granada. We were almost the only pilgrims on the route. It was March of 2020. We met one other pilgrim, Juan from Spain, on that route before Granada. But we did meet about a half a dozen members of the association in various towns and villages along the route, either as hospitaleros or as citizens who wanted to show us their town. So it was a very personal experience, and we loved it. And I also want to thank Juan Guerrero and his fellow volunteers in Malaga, because they also gave us a very warm welcome 2 years later when we started the Camino from Malaga. We had to stop in Baena, and so 2 years later we decided to do the other branch and start in Malaga. So that's what we did this past March. Yeah, I would say, and we didn't connect with the association in Granada. And I would say between oh, by the way, my shirt is Camino Mozarabe. This was, I got that at the association office in Malaga from Juan, so thank you. And from Granada to Baena, there were a few more pilgrims, and the accommodation was good, but the service was not as personal. And I think that's because the albergues are not run by the association. But there were good accommodation options, and it's a beautiful route, especially that pass up to Maucline is fantastic. we found that the distances between towns varied quite a bit. So in general, the stages are really nicely spaced and usually with towns to stop in along the way. But the sections from Malaga to Baena and from Córdoba to Mérida can be longer between towns and more challenging for that reason. If you need to stop for something to eat or you want to shorten your day, it's harder to do that. Should I keep going? How's our time?
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I think.
Yeah, I had a couple of things to say about the
Yes.
albergues, if there's
Please.
time.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. We did have some difficulties with accommodation on between Malaga to Baena, and it was very early in the year. It was a COVID year. Some albergues were not open yet. And the ones that were open were very cold at night. So, and mostly they were municipal albergues. And we did find it was much more difficult to find somebody to open it for you. I mean, when the association runs the albergue, it's wonderful because you're in touch with them and you feel like you're getting personal attention. Sometimes we had trouble finding somebody who would give us a key or finding the albergue in some towns. And we found that some of the municipal albergues were not well cared for. I don't think that they have the same heart and soul as the municipal or as the associations that are run by the Almeria branch. And I would say that it really makes a difference to the pilgrim welcome to have albergues that are run by and cared for the association and that provide a traditional pilgrim welcome. And in fact, after 3 stays in municipal albergues this year, we stopped staying in albergues and went to private hostels and bed and breakfasts instead, because it was very cold and lonely and we just found it too difficult. So I think having an hospitalero in them would have made a huge difference.
Thank you, Leah. And we want now to make a connection between a sentence that when Antonio was finding out information, was looking for information about your association and yourself as the former president. It's a Latin one, solvitur ambulando. And yeah, it makes a lot of sense for everyone who has had the experience of the Camino, I'm sure of that. And we want to connect that with a book written by an Australian writer, Ailsa Piper, who walked the Mozarabe Way a few years ago and published Sinning Across Spain. Because yes, the Camino can help improve both the physical and the emotional and spiritual health of walkers, and even can heal souls from sinning, as in medieval times pilgrims were trying to find that forgiveness, or that to forgive themselves even. And now we want to invite a friend and a colleague, a journalist who's called Marta Baena, to share with us an excerpt from that book that I think can connect to what we have been hearing from all of you. So Marta, if you're ready, hi, welcome, and thank you for being here. Yeah.
Hello. So I'm gonna read these 2 short tests from Ailsa Piper. I hope to do my best. So the title, the first one is "I Will Walk of Your Signs." Pilgrims seek signers for mutually beneficial arrangement, proven track record, tireless, result-oriented, reliable, 7 dead lives, a specialty. That's what it started. Words on a page. Less than a month later, I found myself hiking through olive groves and under translucent pink blossom on a road called the Mozarabe, making my way north from the legendary Spanish city of Granada towards the cliffs at Finisterre in the far northwest. It wasn't all flores and fiestas. One afternoon, after 8 hours of incessant rain, I was trudging along a flooded dirt road in waterlogged boots and drenched khakis. Feeling far from home and even farther from reason. What on earth had made me imagine I could skip across a country carrying other people's signs on my back, let alone abstain from committing any of them myself? I want to support you to carry anger on behalf of the wider world, a fear anger. It is such a destructive, negative emotion. It's natural, impulsive reaction, which can lead to ugly words and deeds, irrational behavior and pain, all of which is usually deeply regretted when the anger subsides. Words on a page help to prevent me from committing the sign. I'd experienced regret the previous day. I taste like pungent smoke from the olive fires, and I had no wish to sample it again. In Baena, our stop for the night, we checked in at Pension Rincon, and I took first turn in the chevron bathroom, where the hot water softened my violin string muscles. I saw a 9th century castle. They were getting older with each town, an olive oil museum, a modern brick church with a high-pitched bell, and locals chatting without their S's. Somewhere, I thought, there is a cave where the wind whistles all day and night, the cave of the lost S's. I was tired, clearly.
Thank you, Marta. And after literature, some music to make a stop in our camino.
Okay, thank you, Marta. And this final sentence, la cueva de las heces perdidas, para los andaluces nos define de aquella manera. Creo que Mercedes o alguien se tenía que ir. Si es así, no te preocupes, Mercedes. Encantados de habernos encontrado. Y vamos a seguir unos minutos más con quienes podáis, porque nos queda, por favor, dar la palabra y escuchar sobre todo a Andy. Hello, Andy. Andy is a musician. Probably he can show us his performance in some minutes if the piano is working.
Oh, I think possibly another day. I think let's stay on target.
But anyway, he's a pilgrim. He's a hospitalero. So he's someone very involved especially in the Camino Mozarabe for some different years. And probably he's thinking to continue his connection in the future.
Indeed.
So Andy, welcome. And
hello.
How the Camino reached your life? How was the connection?
Well, I began like most people. My first Camino, as I think probably with most people who come to Spain to walk, was of course the French back in 2004. And after repeating that about, I think it was about 7 times, I just thought we need to change this up a bit. Tenemos que cambiar un poco. Si queréis lo puedo hacer en español igual, como...
Bilingual.
Es que tenemos los que entienden un poco menos el inglés. Intento en los dos. I'll try in both for those watching. So I started to do the Vía de Plata, empezaba a bajar a La Plata, arriba, 2 or 3 times. Again, I thought, well, I much preferred the routes from Andalusia. I like the solitary routes. Soy solitario, me encanta andar solo, me encanta tener este espacio donde nadie se toca, que cuando estés tú y nadie más, y los que tú traigas en tu mente, claro. And I'd not heard of the Mozarabe, as I think, well, that's why we're here, really, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of people who walk ignorant of this particular route, or routes, I should say. I knew Almeria a little bit. I had friends who were living down there, so I thought one day, well, let's just try it. And I have to say, it's my favorite route, and I'm not saying that because we're here talking now. Es el favorito porque lo es, no porque estemos aquí hablando de ello. en parte por lo que es el solitario. La primera vez que lo hice hasta Mérida, y no es mentira ninguna, no encontré a nadie. Era todo, para mí, todo un lujo, tal vez para otros no tanto, porque a otra gente le encanta hacerlo en grupos y tener compañía, ¿no? Yo tengo bastante en la cabeza, no necesito, demasiado ya lo tengo. Y lo que primero me impresionó, aparte de la gente que te saludaba, es que eso no pasa, no tiene ningún momento, que te dan un abrazo y que no le conocen a nadie. Y aquí es tu ruta, es que, bueno, ya que estamos en otro mundo ya. Todo lo que siempre he buscado en un camino realmente es bondad, compañerismo, este entendimiento entre gente de lo que es la naturaleza, la paz, el escape del día en día, del tormento de la vida actual, cuando se puede regresar hasta ser un ser humano como igual debe de ser, como los antiguos nómadas, que eres tú, tu cuerpo, lo que puedas tú, sin prisa ninguna, si como yo dispongas de este tiempo, claro, tengo este lujo. Y con la cabeza ya metido ni en Santiago, pero ya en la costa. Tú empiezas, ya has llegado, así que cada paso después de eso es un regalo, es un regalo. Pero la gente que lleva eso es lo que hace ese camino, aparte de la belleza de Almería y de Córdoba y de Granada y más arriba, es la gente, cómo te encoge, como estén ahí a todo momento. Y que yo estoy acostumbrado a salir y a hacer la cosa, sé lo que sea, pero cuando tenga a esta gente aquí que está dispuesto a ayudar en la más mínima cosa, antes de que tú si quieres sabes que lo necesitas, es una cosa, ¿eh? Pues hace un viaje espectacular, hablando de los albergues. No son albergues, son hoteles, es que son casas privadas, son sitios que nunca esperas encontrar como peregrino. Y yo con los 17 caminos que he hecho, jamás había encontrado una cosa tal cual como, y tenía el lujo también, además de estar solos esta primera vez hasta Mérida, cada noche en un palacio, con todo a mano. Y donativo, que es la primera pregunta, es que ¿cómo lo hacen? No sea factible. Pero sí, y por eso quería yo, cuando lo había mencionado Mercedes y Paco, que por qué no bajas y haces un rato como hospitalero, ¿no? Una cosa que siempre he querido hacer de todas maneras, estar en el otro lado, ¿no? Y la primera preocupación que tuve era, ¿puedo hacerlo como ellos? que ya son unas alturas esto. No sé si llego, aparte de que soy corto de todas maneras, pero pero yo pensaba que eso tiene que tomarlo en serio, porque eso no es simplemente estar ahí tú y ya venga, ferma, bueno, vete a hacer tu cosa y ya estoy libre. Que no lo vi así. Y la verdad es que era una pasada, en parte porque yo estaba en Santa Cruz de Marchena, la gente ya venía con un par de días atrás, ya habían infectado con la alegría de Mercedes, de Paco y de todos los que están alrededor de ahí. Así que el trabajo mío era fácil, ya venían con sonrisas. Pero estar ahí ayudando a ellos como a mí me gustaría que me ayudaran a mí, pues entonces eso era una cosa muy, muy especial. Y yo lo disfruté. Yo creo que lo disfruté más que ellos, la verdad. Que a cocinar algo, a arreglar algunas ampollas o una charla. No toda la gente que hace el camino va feliz. Algunas tienen problemas o tienen preocupaciones grandes o que sea, que no es siempre, hablamos de esa cosa como si fuera un viaje de santos, ¿no? Pero gente viene con muchos problemas a veces y tienes que estar ahí dispuesto, queriendo estar dispuesto de escucharles. Y es increíble lo que se puede hacer con un par de palabras, ¿eh? Estando ahí escuchando a una persona. Y eso también lo experiencié ahí durante que eran dos semanas o un poco más, no me acuerdo, de verdad. Sí, no, y las gracias tienen que siempre ir, como digo, al equipo de la asociación que hacen estas cosas especiales, porque el norte no es así. Al norte se ha vuelto ya, como sabemos todos, muy comercial. Vamos, se llama la ruta comercial en algunas partes, así tan mal sea. No es porque sea peor, porque es tanta gente que lo hace, es masificada, que es lo que tiene que pasar. Mi tema, digo, lo que temo del mozárabe es que aún de llegar a ser así, que eso sería, para mí sería una pena, porque creo que la belleza de esa ruta es la soledad de esto, y las largas distancias que tienes que cubrir tú. Y como los que sigan como peregrinos de veras, que no lo soy agnóstico, te lo voy a decir ahora con palabras, pero un agnóstico que está siempre pensando, ¿no? Y hay gente, sin embargo, que viene, que son peregrinos de veras. Y claro, no buscan lujo siempre, porque ser peregrino tampoco es buscar el lujo, es un reto entre tú y tu Dios. Que nadie dice que iban a tirar flores por todo el camino hasta que tú llegues. Eso ganas tú. Pero esa gente, no sé decir desgraciadamente o no, pero son la minoría, o en mi experiencia, de todas maneras, la mayoría de la gente que encuentro yo haciendo el camino son gente, digamos, de senderismo o de gente que le encanta la naturaleza o le encanta un reto. Y entonces, yo por mí, me encanta que sean los albergues super lujos y todo esto, pero no me importaría nada de dormir debajo de las estrellas una noche tampoco. La única cosa que a mí que noté, y es una cosa súper difícil de hacer seguro, y yo ahora mismo presto mi voluntad, algún momento lo necesitéis para hacer algunas marcas de más, digamos, por ejemplo, en los ríos, súper difícil hacer, ya lo sé, porque si el viento no le lleve, pues la hierba se tapa y es súper difícil de mantener seguro. Entonces ahora mismo aquí en esta reunión ofrezco mi servicio para ayudarles a seguir con pero entre todo esto, gracias a la asociación, muchísimas gracias por hacer todo esto posible. Y lo digo seguramente de parte de todos los que han andado por esas partes, seguro.
Wow, 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 wow. Qué bonito, cuántas cosas que has dicho, con qué profundidad y con qué sensibilidad. Probablemente porque alguien nos estaba contando que hiciste el camino como buen guiri peregrino en el verano. En el verano.
Siempre verano. Sí, como se dice, ¿no? Los locos y los perros locos y los ingleses, ¿no? Sí,
Muy
yo
bien.
siempre.
Mira, antes de ir acabando, decirle adiós a Mercedes, también Wendy, que creo que ya se
adiós,
fue.
Mercedes, amiga mía.
Un beso grande, Mercedes. Me gustaría darle la palabra porque está aquí con nosotros Chris, Chris, no te conozco, o tal vez sí, pero si quieres decirnos algo en español, francés, English, how do you speak, Chris? Welcome. You are unmute, please. Unmute
Yeah.
your micro.
You need to switch on the mic. We cannot hear you. You need to activate the sound.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Now,
perfect.
Welcome, Chris.
Christopher.
It took me an hour to get connected with you guys. I am right now in United States, north of Washington, D.C. and Maryland State.
Okay.
So, I don't know, perhaps distance make me very difficult to get connected with you guys. I couldn't hear any conversation for an hour. And so I don't know the flavor of this discussion, even the topic and a purpose. So I'm fresh guy, jumped in it on your screen and okay, what can I tell you?
Maybe have you a relation with the Mozarabic Way to Santiago? Is that the reason you're here? Because you have that connection or that experience?
Yes, I did walk Camino Mozarabe from Almeria to Merida. And 5 years ago, I walked Sevilla to Santiago. And I walked 6 more Caminos in different places. So it was my last Camino, I have to tell you. I was very impressed by Andalusia and history. And I decided 2 weeks before starting in Almeria to go and walk Andalusia and Extremadura again. So it was my closing walk.
Okay.
Very beautiful. I'm a filmmaker. I make a documentary of Caminos I walked with, people or myself, and I present them at international festivals. And the most successful was a documentary from Via de la Plata and Camino San Andres, which was nominated to main awards. Unfortunately, I didn't get any awards, but I was nominated.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And I like solitary walk. I walk with camera, so I like to be myself because people make me nervous to keep with them distance. I don't see much what is around me. I follow great American naturalist writer Edward Abbey statement that when you drive a car, you see nothing. When you walk, you see something. But when you crawl on elbows and knees, you see. But some, maybe not. So that's a good statement to be out of the door and to see the Camino, to see Spain, to see architecture, to see beautiful people, and to be with ourselves, with myself. So that's why I prefer to walk myself. Yep, that's all. Well, walking Camino Mozarabe from Almeria to Merida, I have to congratulate you. You're supposed to be proud. Everything works very fine. I talked with Mercedes. I don't know her, but I had a few conversations before my trip to Almeria. Nelly, very wonderful person, helped me a lot walking through and giving the codes and albergues and ideas where to go, where to eat, where to sleep, and so forth. And I have to tell you, Ayuntamiento's people and police local was very helpful. When I get lost or I could find albergue, they were very friendly, very professional. They helped not only me, perhaps, but other people. Even once, one of the police officers asked me, Chris, go to my police car, I will give you a ride to the albergue. So, very nice. And walking last part of Camino Mozarabe, I had a dream. I had a dream walking 30 and more kilometers with no shade, a lot of asphalt work, no water, no food, nothing, nada. I was dreaming about an albergue or about a shelter in the middle of the way. Maybe shelter, only roof, benches, so I could sleep emergency underneath the roof and take a rest and keep going next day, because 30-something kilometers at temperature 36.7 was quite challenging. It was but beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you. Yes, we will share that proposal and idea with the people who could do something about it, because it sounds,
Yeah, it is difficult and perhaps illegal to have people sleeping in one spot because people behave differently. There can be a dirt, a trash, and other stuff. So perhaps it never will go through it. But if I would find the bench over there, certainly I would lay down and sleep over the night.
Thank you, Chris, for sharing your experience in our Camino, in the one that, as we said before, we are right now located in Baena. In fact, I myself, I'm sitting in one of the rooms in the castle of Baena at the top of the hill. Yeah, if you have passed by, you can imagine where we are now. I think maybe our problems can have something to do with our guests, the phantoms. We have some at the castle. Maybe they were interfering with our communication day or something. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Baena, very beautiful. Albergue was very beautiful, new, renovated, good food, good place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next to the castle.
Yep,
it's
exactly.
been really, really wonderful to hear all of you. And we have to certify, we didn't pay you to say these wonderful things about our Camino Mozarabe. You were free to say, and I think at the end it's easy when we act as interconnector, people practicing good hospitality and people who are working, as Chris said, they are being in conditions to see, to perceive something. It's not driving a car. So walking, you have the possibility to meet with others, to meet with nature, to meet with yourself. And this was the reason for this conversation. And that will be also the goal we'll have tomorrow in the afternoon. We'll have a second conversation with new associations in Paris, in France, with some walkers will be connected through the Camino tomorrow afternoon, and also with some managers of some albergues in our municipalities. We'll finish on Friday with other guests. Will be with the president of the Córdoba Association of Friends of the Camino, but also some other surprises. And of course, all of you are invited not only to follow with us if you are free to do, but also to come back to the Camino, and especially to visit Raquel in the castle. Probably you will help her to discover which is the phantom. Thank you very much. Thank you, Marta, for your help also. And Raquel, or?
Yeah, only just to say that no matter where you come from or no matter where you go, you know that you're welcome to the Camino, and buen camino. We hope we'll meet again.
Buen camino. Un abrazo.
Buen camino.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.